Drew McIntyre challenges Seth Freakin Rollins for the WWE World's Heavyweight Championship at Crown Jewel next Saturday in Saudi Arabia. And there's a lot going on with this match. There's a lot going on with this feud because even though Drew McIntyre is one of WWE's top stars along with the current world champion, there are a lot of fans out there, myself included, that believe that Drew McIntyre will not be walking out of Crown Jewel as World Heavyweight Champion. Number one, because I still believe that he is in the middle of a heel turn. And for that heel turn to come to be, for that heel turn to actually be effective, he needs to lose at Crown Jewel this Saturday. Whether that be against Seth Freakin Rollins in a straight-up one-on-one match, whether it be because Senior Money in the Bank Damian Priest decided to cash in, make it a triple threat, and then Damian Priest walks out with the World's Heavyweight Championship. That might come into play too. But Drew McIntyre, the Scottish Warrior, cannot walk out of Saudi Arabia as World's Heavyweight Champion. Number one, again, like I mentioned, his upcoming heel turn. I think it's inevitable at this point. I think even the WWE Universe wants him to turn heel at this point. And to be honest, and this is just me, my individual point, I want to see a heel Drew McIntyre. If a heel Shinsuke Nakamura did what he did to Seth Freakin Rollins, imagine what a heel Drew McIntyre can do against Seth Freakin Rollins towards the end of this year, 2023. And then maybe at Survivor Series, maybe at the December pay-per-view, maybe Drew McIntyre walks out with the World's Heavyweight Championship. But the first step has to be Drew McIntyre losing to Seth Freakin Rollins. And I've said this before. I've said this in a previous video. This is very reminiscent of back in 2010 when another top WWE superstar's contract was coming up. And he wasn't renewing anytime soon, but WWE still put the WWE Championship on him. They still had Batista, the Animal, beat John Cena at Elimination Chamber. Then they went on to WrestleMania. They had a three-match rivalry, three-match feud towards the end of the year until, I believe it was the Raw after Over the Limit, that Batista ended up quitting WWE. And again, prior to that, Batista turned heel for his one last final run with WWE at the time, hoping to try to get him to re-sign with the company, hoping to try to reinvigorate his career, his stance in WWE's totem pole at that time. I firmly believe Drew McIntyre is in the exact same position right now in WWE. And him getting involved with the Judgment Day, I don't think that's going to happen. I think it's just Rhea Ripley trying to manipulate the situation because, again, it doesn't make any sense. And again, not everybody's logical, and I've said this before, too. I mean, if actual human beings in today's world, the real world, don't make the most logical decisions all the time, why do we expect our characters and our storylines on TV to be 100% logical? But to play devil's advocate, Drew McIntyre joining the Judgment Day as the world's champion does not make any sense because you got Senior Money in the Bank Damian Priest right then and there who could cash in on his future partner if that were to happen. That doesn't make sense. And Damian Priest cashing in on Roman Reigns, that's not going to happen. Doesn't matter how you try to spin it, that's not going to happen. So again, at Crown Jewel, Saudi Arabia, simple as that. Seth Freakin Rollins is going to have the fight of his life, like he's had with Shinsuke Nakamura, like he's had with Finn Balor in his current reign. But he will end up either retaining the championship over Drew McIntyre in a straight-up one-on-one match, or Damian Priest is going to be cashing in his Money in the Bank briefcase and becoming world champion, which will further enrage Drew McIntyre against the Judgment Day, against Seth Freakin Rollins, and hopefully that leads to a fruitful heel turn, and maybe the Scottish Warrior chooses to re-sign with WWE. I hear they're far apart in terms of money, which is the main issue with how they're handling the situation, WWE in this case. So we'll just have to wait and see. Maybe the heel turn revitalizes Drew McIntyre's stance with the crowd, with the fans. People want to see him. People want to buy his merch. I don't know. I'm just throwing this out there. But I firmly believe, and just to bookend this entire prediction in terms of, doesn't matter what happens on today's Monday Night Raw. Seth Freakin Rollins walks into Crown Jewel as World Champion, and he either walks out as World Champion or Damian Priest does, but the Scottish Warrior cannot and will not walk out as the World Heavyweight Champion, at least not yet. So with that said, what are your thoughts? Do you think Drew McIntyre does walk out of Crown Jewel with the World Heavyweight Championship in tow? Do you think Damian Priest is going to cash in, ruin this whole situation? Maybe Drew McIntyre has Seth Freakin Rollins against the ropes. Maybe McIntyre is about to win the championship, about to win the big one in front of a packed stadium, and out comes Damian Priest and spoils his moment. Leave your thoughts, comments, and predictions in the comment section below. Tune in later on tonight to the USA Network for another episode of Monday Night Raw. My name is Alexis Carrillo. This has been Wrestling Talk, and I'll see you next time.